All right, let me say hello and welcome everyone. Doug here with the LincolnList.com, and this is another daily edition of Stock Market Mutterings, where I always say I will do my best to take a grope in the murkiness, try to make some sense out of that market right there, and I hope that makes you guys a little bit more money. As always, if you need help, I say it almost every day, you can trade with us live in our trade room. It's all done live on screen. It's live streaming. I give you the commentary, the stocks, and everything that I'm looking at. Right there's the link. Just click on it. Each and every one of you are more than welcome to join us, because you know what? I'm here for you. I'm here to hold you through these tough times and carry you through the night and be your besties. So anyway, guys, I have a confession I want to make. And the confession that I want to make today is I'm a total liar. That's right. I'm a total liar. And I'll tell you why. I put on this big song and dance yesterday. Did the whole dog and pony show about this LULU, right? And I said, this LULU stock of the year. I made it out like it was the stock of the year. It's obviously not the stock of the year, but I made it out like it was the stock of the year, right? I didn't even trade it. And the setup was perfect. The setup was perfect on it. It was perfect, man. Oh. But I'll tell you why I didn't do it. Because I ended up doing something else completely different. And in this case, it went beyond my wildest dream. I looked at the trade of the month today in ROKU. And normally when something like this happens, I don't like to push my luck. I don't. And some of the things, I know some traders will disagree. Let's sit down for a second. Some traders will disagree because when you have a good day, sometimes the perception is you have some, let's call it house money. And I really hate that term, house money, because I don't think there's any such thing as house money. You know, and a lot of times when we make a lot on our very first trade, we feel like we have some gambling room and we start taking speculation plays. It has a tendency, not for everyone, but for me in particular, it has a tendency to lead me to act out of character. And when I say acting out of character, we all have a process, we all have a system, and we want to operate within that box of rules. Like in your life, your real life, you can be a rebel. You can be a rebel, think outside the box, all that stuff is great. But in trading, you got to stay inside of your zone because that's where you perform the best. So I have a tendency that oftentimes when I used to in the old days, when I made a lot of money, what I would do is I would just turn around and gamble the rest of it away and give a chunk back. And I know you see a lot of traders doing that and hear a lot of traders doing that, giving tons back. And I don't like to do that. So if I have an outstanding morning and I knock one out of the park first thing, I do myself a favor. I stopped trading. And the reasons that I do that as well is for a couple of other reasons too, because it's like, you know, you're always busting your ass working really hard all the time and you're putting in all these hours, and it's like, that's a gift. You get a good gift, you get something right, treat yourself good. I'm trying to get this thing up here. Treat yourself good and go out and have a good time. Spend the rest of your day. Now, I don't have that luxury like I used to. I've got to fix this thing because it sucks. I don't have a luxury like I used to because I run the room and I'm around answering questions for everyone, and that's what's important. So I want to be able to do that. How come I can't get this done right here, guys? Okay, let's try it here. Okay. So I have to stick around, and sometimes that leads to other things. But let me talk about this ROKU. I put it up here on the screen. I just caught this at the right time. And this was one of the stocks I have been talking about over and over again. I put it in this group. So if you're watching this for the first time, I want to talk to you a little bit about how I do things and what I look for. When the market's bullish like this, I want to be on the bullish side most of the time. I want to be long most of the time. Now, just because I've done a video on this before where stocks go through a cycle. There's a momentum stock. And what part about being a momentum stock is money changes hands all the time. It's tech right now, so tech is hot. If you're going to be buying longs and buying trades for day trading, you should be mostly in the tech sector. These are the stocks that are running. Now, next month, this might be completely different. Maybe it's going to be airlines. Maybe it's going to be somebody else. But you want to try to follow that money cycle around because that's where your best bet to make money. So what you're looking at right now specifically with these names, ROKU, Netflix, NVIDIA, AMD, BABA, Okta, Team, Twilio, all of these names are under heavy accumulation. That means every single dip on these stocks gets consumed in most cases, and the stock goes higher. So rather than just chasing it high, you're waiting for good pullbacks. So today, that's what we got on ROKU. I told you, I gave you that list, and that's my list right now until it stops. It's ROKU, Netflix, NVIDIA, Twilio, Baba, Okta, OKTA, if you don't know what I'm talking about, AMD, you can put in, and I'm sure there's tons of it. I'm sure there's tons of it. That's just all I can watch in a single day. And most specifically, it's Roku. I really think in the next couple of weeks, we're going to see Roku at 150. I think people are starting to get the vision back in their mind that this is the stock like it was last year. It was like 300% ripper. It's a dip buy until things change. It really is a dip buy until things change. So let's talk about the market. I mean, this is a hell of a trade. I'll just give you a quick overview of it. I mean, I got it right. And I just picked it up here off the dip once it started to make the pivot. Remember, guys, I talked about the check mark pattern, the lovely check mark pattern. If this is the first time you're watching, go back and look at yesterday's video. I talked about this thing, the beauty of the check mark. And right back up it goes. Look at that, the check mark pattern. And it just kept going. And I sold half at 130. And then I just trailed the rest up. And I didn't get stopped out until like 131, 132 or something it was. I put it up there on the screen a minute ago. Now I'm doing this, I want to try to get these out a little bit earlier so we can prepare better for our day. There's probably still a trade in this. I'm still stocking this right now as a potential to maybe look at this for, for a late day run back to 130 to 132. So I really kind of like look at this here. So keep that on the list. Roku. It's always a dip buy. Wouldn't just jump into it on any gap up first thing in the morning, but definitely any pullbacks. I would be interested in this one. I want to take a look at the market because the thing here is there's some discrepancies. The Dow isn't having that good of a day. It's actually starting to push down on these lower supports, which is going to be important going forward. This 23,100, and so is the SPY. Not having the best of days either, but it is holding the overnight support area right here, which I've got marked of 275.75. So you got a little double bottom right there. It's doing a pretty good job of holding that. And I think as long as we hold there, we're okay. If we're going forward, anything can happen at any time, but I'm looking at 269s right now. That was the lows from a few days ago. If you hold up the 269s, 265s, we're still bullish, and we might see another re-gear that goes back to 300s. I think that's the ultimate target here in this shorter-term rally, is pushing back to 300. But for sure, by all means, it's the Qs. The Qs, the tech, I told you, tech sector, the Qs and everything else are totally leading the way. I mean, look at their chart compared to everyone else. Now, also what this means, guys, is at some point the others are going to catch up. The SPY is going to catch up, the Dow is going to catch up, and they sort of want to run in unison. So look for that. I mean, right now we're in a tech-heavy market. Stay with those names, but maybe next week, the week after that, we could be looking at something a little bit different. So I want to look at that definitely Roku tomorrow. Now I want to talk about LULU because I said this was a good trade, and it was, and it really was. But look at this thing, another check marker here. This one did exactly what I love stocks to do, which is rather than chase them in the morning and buy up here, which runs the risk of traders getting stopped out. That's a newbie move. You just don't chase like that because overall that does more problems. But you got a nice fade, goes into support, and then look, here's your check mark right here. Down and up, red to green there for a moment, goes down red, and does the same thing yesterday, just kind of hunkers down into support, grinds back up later. There might be a trade on this one too before the day's over. If it comes back up over here, reclaims the VWAP, which is right now like in the mid 210s. Put it on the chart here, right here for you. And we're up from there. You could see this thing just rally back up to 212s before the day's over. It's hard to tell right now. I mean, we still got another hour and a half, so anything could happen. I think money-wise, Roku looks a little bit better about continuing this trend and possibly reattacking those highs up there. We'll just have to see as we progress a little bit later. So I should have taken LULU. I know it wasn't anyway. I mean, I got $13 a share on that Roku. And I did nibble a little bit here. I didn't put it on the screen, but I did nibble a little bit on Baba. But let me talk about LULU. This was a good one because this move alone here on LULU was about, yeah, $6. I mean, that's another. Damn, what a day! What a day it could have been. I should have thought second about it. And the reason I say that is because it was a tier 1 setup. It was a perfect setup. I should have put something on there, and I'm kind of regretting it now. And I did take a little bit of BABA later, so I've got some of this right now, but I don't have the best entry on this because it didn't really pull back much. So I'm kind of stuck around here in the mid 210s. Yes, I got a couple of dollars on it, but right now it just hasn't taken off. But I still like these, and I still want to continue to buy dips on these. And you can see people are starting to accumulate them. So now as we look tomorrow, I mean, the plan is still the same. Is to continue to look for these big names, these tech names. I mean, Apple's having an off day here. That might be something to take a look at going into tomorrow. I mean, it's kind of struggling down here into the gaps. It's just light volume pullback here. So maybe this is something that we could look at. Every dog has its day. Everybody's going to get a chance to make its turn and so on like that. But watch these and pay close attention to them. So just kind of my synopsis. I don't have tons of names to go over, but I just want to just continue to make it clear and pound the table that we're in a tech-heavy market. You find your tech names, stay with those. And it makes sense right now as well because, you know, tech has always wanted to distance people in the first place. You know, quarantine just makes people look on Facebook more than normal, right? They're creep stalking their exes on Facebook more when they're quarantined. People are watching more Netflix. And I think that's what you're seeing here with Roku is they were going down a lot. And I was bearish on that stock a couple of weeks ago. And you know, they came out with some really good news, and I think they have a lot of catching up to do. That's why now I'm so bullish on it and so quickly changed my mind is because, you know, you saw what Netflix did this whole time, and Netflix is still running. I don't see why Roku can't do that either. You know, I mean, I don't. So we want to pay close attention to that. So I'm going to wrap it up right there. I don't want to just keep getting winded. I'm just still tech heavy. I'm still going to watch this stuff, just looking for pullbacks, just taking what I can get right now. The ranges are insane, so you get on the right side of the stuff. It's good. Stay with those names until it changes. And if you don't know how to do it, just keep watching Market Mutterings. I'll tell you when it's going to change. I'll tell you when it's time for us to start looking at other things. So enjoy it, guys. Give it a thumbs up if you like this video. I'd appreciate it. Show your support by subscribing, because if you subscribe, if you like, if you interact, then more people will watch, and I'll want to do more of these. Yeah, I want to do more of these. I'll entertain you more. So anyway, guys, thanks a lot for watching. As always, reach out to me. You need some help. Visit the live trade room. Visit the linkless.com. Click on Trade Room tab. Check out the free DVD if you need a good base to get yourself started with trading. Other than that, until tomorrow, trade well. See you later.